whatever slavery or the hustle you are going through is for a good thing. So I always say that serve your master like you were serving yourself. Because when you start serving yourself, your servant will serve you like he was serving himself.
Hey guys, welcome to How They Did It with TriciaBiz, a show that takes you behind the scenes of successful African entrepreneurs, change makers, and creators, showing you the journeys that led to their success.
This episode is sponsored by Traction Apps, the growth partner for your business.
My fashion consultant menswear, she's been working for a year with me. Interesting, she came in as an intern. And she grew to the ranks and she's amazing. And I made her a suit without telling her. I made her a 3-piece suit. I called her into the office one day and said, come and fit this thing. And she wore it. She was literally in tears because she was very happy. She's been selling these things to people, but she's never experienced it.
There's a difference.
So she was like, this is my suit. She went on and on, and we monogrammed her name inside of it. She took a picture, sent to her mother and her sister, do you have your name in your suit?
Is she?
Do you have an Atafo suit? Is your name in an Atafo suit? Just see, and all that was play. But she literally has been consumed without knowing that she was consumed in it. Felt so good. She was like, when I wear this thing, which day will I wear? Which customer is coming that day? So when I wear my 3-piece, boss, you have to give me a tie. When I wear tie, when they see me, she was going on and on and on. She has been selling the product, but she had never experienced it. Never.
That's so powerful.
I was not doing her a favor. How can you be selling of something you've not
experienced? Yes. That's always the missing link.
So we made her a double-breasted suit. So back so what's the next thing you want to make? Because I said, right now, you're going to be wearing... Once we can afford it as a business, we cannot afford it. Because our suits are not cheap. So making it for staff too is not cheap. But we're going to make it, and that's what you'll be wearing every day. So when you come in, and it's funny that the day she wears the suits, even her whole countenance and her aura
changes.
Is different.
The English changes.
And when the customers come in and they see her dressed that way, it is different. Do you know what I mean? And I realized that when you're not talking about this whole thing called luxury and stuff, the experience goes beyond that. Now the people that are wearing this thing and feeling like they are part of it, how many stores can do that around the world? I mean, to unfortunately, there's no one that I go in and I see is the people wearing it. But it's quite interesting. So it's part of the things I am doing. Like I redid my whole studio about a month ago. Okay. It's again, how do you make it? I mean, I'm into interior design too, so I'm getting my hands dirty with my space. It's like, how do you make it wow the customer once it comes in? What are the elements that make it be like that? And it's all part of repositioning. Okay. And it doesn't give you money outright.
No. Over time.
It's over time and it helps the perception.
Build up.
So, no premium brand in Nigeria, and I'm not a premium brand.
No luxury brand.
No luxury brand, sorry. Take that to the bank. If you see one, come and argue with me.
Business owners will put his revenue, which is not your money.
Yeah.
So why did you decide that you were going to create a target in profit? And what did you hit at the end of that year?
So interestingly, I wasn't doing it because I knew how business plans were written and how it was supposed to be done by the book. Right. I was doing it because I had a goal that I wanted my business to achieve. And again, remember what I said initially was that I was scared when I didn't have a job because I had security when I got salary. So basically, how do I secure myself money? So it was to calculate profit from every single item, which is the most difficult thing to do, right?
Yes.
Where you have said, I know my running cost, I know my this and this and this. So if I sell this shirt, I know what I'm making. So I need to sell this number of shirts to be balanced. So I know the minimum amount of garments I need to sell in a month to know that I have covered rent, light, diesel, everything in my business. So I know when I can give a discount because I want to hit a certain number of profits. I can do those things off my head without even looking at the full books in the business. Because my whole strategy started from profits per unit. Okay?
That's revenue.
So that's and not revenue. Because you can get revenue and still not make profit.
Not be profitable, yes.
Well, I'm always trying to be, I want to be profitable. Not to say, oh, we are worth this amount of money or we brought this amount of money in. Because sometimes when I now look at my revenue, I look at my profit, I'm like, Jesus Christ, who am I working for? Do you get what I mean? Then it has now made me start looking at things in buckets. So when I look at total revenue, I'm not at my profits. I realize that, okay, I can make more. So what is this big part? It's materials. How do we become more material efficient? If I have to hire somebody to reduce that deficiency by 50%, I know I'm going to make more money here. How do you do this? So it makes you think differently in the way you approach things.
Yes.
I know, again, around the world, there's a business that don't break even in 4 years, this, that. I like that. But our own bit here, we always start organic. So you see your profits in Kobo before it turns to Naira. But when you start big, that's when you do not get all that because you have employed everybody. I'm creative director, I'm marketing strategist, I'm tailor, I am PR, I'm front facing, I'm customer service. My personal number is my business number. So I didn't want to miss a beat. You call me at 2 a.m. Sorry, it's too late. Oh, no, it's not late. I'm not sleeping. I'm like fully awake. You know, there was no sleep, literally. You know? But inside all that, I didn't think about it. It's like, there's something about me, and I think I was talking to Paul Ford the other day. I do not know how to crystallize what I have done and put it for people to comprehend and put it as a strategy. When I hear people go like, when you work, there's no sleep. You're a businessman 24 hours of the day. At 2 a.m., you're picking up a phone call. That's the way to success. It sounds scary to me. Like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? But
you did it.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
But it's not in the way you are saying it that is scaring the other guy from doing it. Make them believe that it is possible. That, dude, man, 2 a.m., you go wake up, pick call. Do you understand? But that could be the call that could make you. So there's a different way to make people understand that this, whatever slavery or the hustle you are going through is for a good thing. So I always say that serve your master like you were serving yourself. Because when you start serving yourself, your servant will serve you like he was serving himself. Because he pays back. When I worked, everywhere that I worked, and I mean, if anybody I worked for is looking at me, I gave my best. Everything to it. My every single thing to it. I lived in Lekki, I worked in Guinness in Ikeja. I was the first in the office. Even people lived in Ikeja. I was the first in the office, and I would grind to ensure what I did was right. Ensure that I deliver. And it also makes you a better person.
Yeah.
So for me, that's why the profit for me is more important, and Nigeria plays you dirty. If you look at revenue, you shut your business down in 2 years once the dollar decides to misbehave. Because we source everything overseas.
Paradise that, I have this much. Yeah.
Because when things happen, like literally as the Naira misbehaves against the dollar, I know exactly what to tweak immediately. Immediately. It's happening. I'm like, we're looking at prices by this. You know? So it's a very safe place for me to play, to be honest.
Fantastic. That's like a full masterclass, guys. Yeah, so it's been 12 years now. What do you think have been like some of the strategies that's really helped your brand grow in this time?
And one thing that I know that's really helped me is striving for perfection in what I do.
Okay.
Literally in every single product that we do. Because I mean, we have fashion designers that make things and probably finishing is not good or something's a bit recognized as African standard, you know, people understand. I don't accept that.
Okay.
I want to make my thing as good as anything you buy from anywhere in the world. So when you say I'm supporting because you're Nigerian, no, support me because it's good stuff, not because I'm Nigerian. I'm not a charity case. I've always felt like doing the thing to the highest quality that you have ever experienced in your life is what you should be doing. Not doing it to the highest experience that you are capable of doing. So if you've ever been to a hotel before and they said, hi, good morning, how are you doing? How can we help you? Blah, blah, blah. That's exactly what you should do in your business. Not say, I've not reached there yet now. So when we reach there, we will start that. Do you understand? If you have experienced it before and you can bring that experience to your business, bring it to your business as soon as you can. Say in Nigeria, if you enter the same business as somebody else and you give better customer service, you'll make more money than them, period. There's no conversation.
Better customer service.
If somebody is selling rice here and someone is selling rice here, this one is a hut and this is a building, people will go into the building first. Even that poor man there, he will go into the building because it looks better. Do you get what I mean? If you are doing the same thing but you offer a better service or something better, even though the product is the exact same thing, people will come to you, especially in this country, because customer service is not great.
Yes.
Service is not great generally.
Yes.
When you get a good service from somebody, you remember that I got good service from this place or this person. When you get bad, 10 good, 1 bad, they still write you off. People are not, Nigerians, even as customers, are the least forgiving people. You know, we are the ones that demand heaven and earth.
Yes.
Right? Customer is always right. And now I change that thing. I don't say customer is not, customer is king.
I also,
because sometimes the king can be wrong.
Yeah, customers are not
so customer is king.
Right.
Customer is right. I disagree.
Yeah,
customer is king, so I will serve you as a king.
You don't know it all,
but it doesn't mean you are correct all the time. But I'll serve you as a king. So my service to you is service to king, but not because you have more knowledge.
Fantastic.
And I'll serve you as a king. I will kneel down in front of you. I'll do everything in front of you as long as I'm serving you. But once we're on the street and you see me, oh no, you're not king at the point in time because I'm not selling to you. Do you get what I mean? So I'm serving you as a product. People can serve you and earn your respect because of the way they serve you. You don't look down on them because you understand it's a service. If there's a great waiter where you go and drink, anytime you go, good morning, have a drink, ma, this and that. You feel like, this guy is really nice. He's quite polite. He's quite this. If you see him outside, you don't go, hey, come here. Waiter. No, you actually say, hello, are you Chigafo? How are you doing? You speak to him in the same way he relates to you. It creates an impression. So customer is king, and I accept that. So that's what I've realized, that you always have to up your game to the best level that there is.
Okay.
Then any stroke you get and you have that brainwave to be innovative, please be innovative.
Be innovative.
I think innovation on a regular basis just stands you out. And it's very, very key to be as innovative as you can. And my innovation bullet sits on Ebuka during Big Brother is always very strategic. There has to be something that I've not done before. That I must do for him. If it's even one item for Big Brother, it's very important.
His outfits go viral. Yeah.
And what better way to do something that people haven't seen before? You know, and it's quite interesting how strategic that we are when we're doing things like that. Sometimes we say, let's do a meme outfit. Meme outfit is the one that they will carry and put memes on top of it because they find, well, I mean, it's want to travel. So let's do a meme outfit now. Which one? No. Let's do one with color, very bold. So they will do this. So when we see people reacting, we're like, nice. Because the one that they like, and they just like, they don't make it go viral.
They don't talk much about it. Just look at it.
But the one they want to yap, and it's going viral because I tell people, if people are sending something around because it is funny or stupid and go, the people are looking at it like, oh, this is quite interesting. Somebody will see it from a different eye.
Yes.
You know, someone will see it from a different eye. So it's quite interesting. So that works. So for me, consistently trying to always make sure you are the best at every single thing that you do.
Okay.
Then the second is be as innovative as possible. It's a very, very good bullet to be able to be. Then you're never known. Assume that you're never known.
Assume that you're never known.
You're never known.
Interesting.
People were like, oh, I've been doing this for 12 years. And no, you're not. You're not. Because someone that was 12 years old when I started is 24 years old right now. She's getting ready to get married. If she didn't know me when she was 12 and I didn't ensure that she knew me through her journey, she wouldn't know me now. So every year is literally a new brand for me in terms of expression. So let's just push it out there to get more people to know. So when people are like, you don't know who he is, he doesn't know me. Let me
introduce
tell who I am. Yes, I'm a bespoke tailor and fashion designer. We make this, that. Let him live with the impression of now he knows, without him wondering why he doesn't know me. Because if he's wondering why he doesn't know me, it's like, if he's that good, how come I do not know him? So that now begins to bring some doubt into the process.
Yes.
Do you understand? So don't make him feel like I do not know him. So what he hasn't been doing if I do not know him? No, I've not been in your purview, so it's great. Now,
let me get into his space.
Get you. So now this is me. This is what I do. Like, oh wow, interesting. Do you know? By the way, I need something for next week. Hello, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
But if you don't know me, you're making the guy feel like maybe Nami Karela say I don't know who this person be. You know, it's kind of like
different thoughts.
It's a different thought. So for every chance I get, media, one-on-one, you know, I'm happy to reintroduce myself to you. Not even introduce, because you probably haven't heard before. So introduce myself and my brand to you.
Great.
And tell you my wins. So that you're like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Then you can look into me afterwards. Interesting
that you mentioned Ebuka, because I was going to ask about partnerships, tactical partnerships, as a marketing strategy. So many a times, business owners complain about these partnerships, like, oh, I put my all in and, I didn't really get anything in return, either in cash or perceived visibility, or even conversions. But you're like king of partnerships. So how can we play to partnerships to benefit the brands?
I think sometimes people partner for the wrong results. So I want to partner with an influencer to do something for me.
Okay.
And I believe that the person will give me sales. Maybe the person is just going to give you awareness.
True that.
You probably will not get sales. You're only going to get awareness from that. So if I'm going to drive for awareness, I'm going to get awareness. Then how do you measure awareness? It's the likes and the follows and the comments, whatever you get. You know that, okay, So they now know who I am. Again, it's also the way the person puts it out there for you. So did you align with the person, or you just give the person the garments?
A free outfit, yeah.
And the person just wore it and just mentioned you, like the way a million people mention people these days. Do you get what I mean?
I get. So it has to be
the outfit you made, was it an outfit that will cause a stare? Enough for them to want to give you the awareness? Or is it something that is so unique that people want to actually purchase at the point in time? If they want to purchase it, are you even ready to fulfill the demands? And we talked about this thing. How many clicks does it take for them to actually achieve that product? So I'm seeing it online right now. And they do this thing in digital. They say 3 clicks and I should be able to buy. In Nigeria, it's 10 clicks plus phone call not picked and plus email sent. And like, you have killed my
energy, the ginger.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. So what was your strategy? And did you even proof your strategy before you implemented it? So, and again, some of these things are labor of love. So I am on Big Brother Nigeria with Ebuka, but the journey started with Big Brother Africa with a.k.a. in South Africa. I did that thing for how many years, right? I wasn't paid. And when I was offered a better deal, I didn't even have an advert. But I kept doing it.
Interesting.
I kept doing it. Something would work for me out from here. Then Big Brother Ninja comes, and Ebuka, who's my friend, who has supported my brand since his Guinness days, is on it and says, let's work together, right? And I just carried the same battered deal that I had to the table. And we did it. And that's when I had an ad to even run.
Oh, yeah, I've seen your ad on.
Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
So it's not a case of, from all that time, what was the benefit? The mention on the screen at the point in time was okay. But you do the work. After a.k.a. has won it and they've mentioned it, you are literally filming it on television. When your name comes up, you screen grab it and put it on your Instagram page so more people can see it. So you do the amplification yourself, which is something that I learned from my days in brand marketing, whereby You are sponsoring an event. You get them 30 million naira. What are the benefits to me? Oh, access is your benefit. But people do not understand that if I give you 30 million, I should get 60 million ready to exploit what I give you 30 million for. If not, nothing's going to happen.
Yes.
So basically, if I give you money for an event, let me know what your event is. How can I key in from the properties of your event to push my brand? If I don't do that, I don't get nothing. So you have to spend more money to amplify, which is something we are very, very lazy about as brand managers in Nigeria. Totally, they don't even see it.
They just like, what do I get from the event?
They don't see it. A good example we have is like, if you're in brand or marketing, go and check this thing out. DHL sponsors James Bond or the last Bond movie, right? And they did an advert, right? With the Bond movie. But I can swear that the production crew of Bond was not there. Daniel Craig was not there. They shot the advert in Hong Kong with a car, the Bond car. And literally, what was it? Bond stopped and dropped something for the DHL guy to make a delivery at a spot. And he drives off. The DHL guy drives off. Then said they start to chase Bond. And Bond is driving through the streets and people are chasing him and buildings are falling, things are chaotic and blah, blah, blah. And this guy is just driving his DHL delivery, being very happy, waving at people quietly and everything. He gets to the drop-off point before Bond, gets out the package, and Bond just drives, the car drives and stops there. You know, and goes, and he winds down. Say, there you go, Mr. Bond. And he goes, thank you, he signs off, and he moves. And the chase continues. DHL will always deliver to you. And that was the end of it. There was no Daniel Craig, there was no anything. But they have taken nuances. I watched that thing God knows how many times. But it felt, everything felt Bond. And DHL has now delivered to you that, listen, one that was going, we got to destination before, and we delivered in proper condition, do you understand, to him. What have you done with the properties of what you sponsored?
What you sponsored, yes.
So this is from the smaller guy doing the influencer partnership to the big brands doing that. What are you doing with it? So I want to sponsor, this guy is my ambassador. Don Jazzy is my ambassador. Miyoko is my ambassador. Fireboy is my ambassador. All they're going to do is like, on MTN, if you want to get the MTN package, and you're gone. He's doing a concert in London. How are you being part of that concert to introduce your product to it? Musicians don't even have merch.
98%.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have merch. There's so
much. Introduce merch.
There's so much. It's like, what are you now doing with the partnership that you have? Even you as an artist, try doing partnership that you have with yourself. That you can sit at home and something that is alternative to your core is generating revenue for you. You know, it's important. So I think people do not know the process to say, this is what I'm trying to get out of this. How do I measure it? And did I benefit from it? So the first time you do it is a learning. Even the 100th time you've done it is still a learning. Because the dynamics always changes. Always changes.
Great.
I know I'm interrupting your watch time, but this is so important. I wouldn't interrupt it if it wasn't important. Now, this is a message for business owners in Nigeria, courtesy our sponsors for this episode, Traction Apps. Now, they want me to let you know that you should not be POS-less. If that's a thing. So if you have a business and you need POS for the business, Traction Apps is your best friend. They've got you. So they have 3 types of POSs, but in this video, I'll be talking about 2, the ones that I'm holding. So we have this one. This is Traction 1, right? It basically runs like an Android phone. So when it is on, you see that the Traction app is installed on the POS. So you can basically manage your stock, your inventory on it and still use it to receive money. Now, this POS is going for 100,000 naira, but they have a lease to own solution, which is you get to just pay 500 naira every day until you complete your payment. Okay, so this is one. It is a POS and it doubles as a phone, a device as well, an Android device where you can operate the app on it and just see everything happening on your account. Now we have the regular POS. We'll call this Traction Pro. Okay, so it's a regular POS like you know it. You slot in your card here. So I'm just going to turn it on. And you can do all the whole purchase and whatnot and issue receipts. Now, this POS is going for 50,000 Naira. But again, you can lease to own, which means that you can start paying 150 Naira every day until you complete your payments. So if you've been struggling to get POS for your business, just go to the link in the description and apply for one. You'll get it within 48 hours. It is that fast. Remember, I always say traction apps, they're every business owner's friend. They're your partner because they have so many solutions to help you win and to help you grow as a business. So let's get back to the video of today. Enjoy.
Okay, so let's look at the process, the value chain, you know, that's from start to finish for production. You know, what has worked for the Atafo business in terms of efficiency? So do you outsource some parts of it or everything happens internally?
Most things happen internally.
Okay.
From measurements to pattern to cutting, stitching and finishing. There are some items that we outsource. So like our beadwork is outsourced. Okay. Our embroidery is outsourced. And for me, I associate to people that at least I know that they don't give me any palaver. One of the guys that even does my bidding is actually a designer himself, who makes things for menswear. But he's in charge of my bidding. So I'm sure that it comes out the way I want it to come out at the time. So those kind of things, we also, but every other thing is done in-house.
So what margins work? How do you calculate all of that to ensure that, you know, the business is extremely profitable?
So in terms of that, so some people do times 6 or you do times 5. So it's 2.5, 2.5 or 3. To that's to retail, wholesale, then to retail. Yeah. But if you do that kind of margins, people will probably not be able to afford at the end of the day. So I always think that you look at the product and try to see what works for the product that you're selling and where you can get your margins from. It's funny how people pay more money for what they perceive it's supposed to be more expensive or it's associated to a particular occasion. When you say wedding, everybody's price is 10.
Yeah.
The makeup that you want to do, so I'm doing the makeup, blah, blah, they'll charge you 5K. When you come up and say, oh, you are doing the makeup, my wedding makeup, the change. I'm like, but I want this same makeup, but for the wedding.
No.
It's a problem.
It's makeup look, yeah.
So people always tend to want to, it's same thing, even like with wedding dresses. Your wedding dress is probably not nicer than one ready dress that you're wearing to somewhere else. But no, the wedding dress, you're ready to actually give out millions.
It's the emotion.
But you don't want, exactly. You know, so if you want to capitalize on things like that, then you can. Then if it's things that you know that only you can do for a short period of time, please leverage it very well before the whole world jumps on it. There are things that only you can do to the perfection that we should do it. That's why sometimes, if you're even telling your story, don't tell the story of the process that well. If people are just waiting to see the process, they can actually jack it. You know, I've been in the market before and they brought my picture asking me for a fabric that I made. And the guy didn't know it was me. He was like, oh God, I better get this material. And I said, you go, how'd you get to? And he looked at me and was like, oh, so I'm like, yeah. You know, but things like that happen. So I would always say, and again, this also works for me because I always think profit. So I always try to get like a good profit margin and look at how many times can I sell these things. So that way I can reduce some prices in some places. Okay. You know, that's the way I work it out.
How do you cope with production in a country like Nigeria with epileptic power supply, with and then just getting to work with tailors who just behave as they wish? Like how are you able to put all the moving parts together and still function?
In my head, I almost feel like my tailors are on 1-year contract with me. If you go over a year, great. If you don't go over a year, it's what it is. I mentally prep myself that this guy will exit after a year, because that's what they do. And again, because as you grow as a business and an individual, while you try to get new things into your business and make it run properly, They don't want to grow with you like that because it may change the dynamics in which they're used to working. So they're not happy with it. If a tailor comes in when you started and he's in charge of trousers and his job is to take the measurement, cut the trouser without doing the pattern, cuts freehand and he stitches the trouser, and that's good. Tomorrow, if you tell them, do patterns down for this thing, you'll say pattern does not work. Or now you get somebody who has more expertise to now be in charge of pattern and cutting, and he stitches, he's no longer happy. Because ideally, if I'm doing that and I'm not reducing your salary, it means I've increased your salary because I'm taking it on one side. You'll be saying, no, I don't understand what this person has cut is different. But it's all a gimmick, and that's what they do. So you need to understand them. So in my head, as I progress and I'm trying to get better in the way that I work, I almost expect that people would go or will go, and I live with that. In terms of the other thing, which it comes to like power and co, man, that one I die with it. And ours is even funny, like the service is here, the goods is here, the production is here, all in one place. The generator has to always work, and it has to be the big 45 kVA generator with diesel. Now 1,000 liters is a month or less. Yeah. So that's close to ₦1 million every month or less. Wow. And that has to happen because of whatever is happening in life. Wow. You know, so it's so funny that sometimes you think if we just had power and we gave out diesel money to the taxman, everybody will be happy. Really? Because it's what they're supposed to be doing. Do you get what I mean? It's crazy. So all those things definitely happen. Then dollar will go down today and go up tomorrow. And it doesn't go down. It only goes up. That one affects the business so because we don't manufacture any of the things that we use locally. Everything is brought from all the raw material. So the man that's selling your fabric is going to increase his fabric price. Do you understand? Regardless of whatever you're doing, he's going to increase it. But your customer don't want you to increase their price. Yeah. They're looking at you like, why are you increasing price? Me, I'm not making money. I'm like, yeah, but I have to take care of the guy upstairs. I have to take care of the gate man. So I have to make money to give them money. But, you know, it's now almost, sometimes you have to let some people go and say, sorry, if you can't pay this, you really have to leave. This is what it is. I mean, even though how nice you are to a Nigerian customer, tell them that I'm sorry, I can't take your price. You are rude. You're proud. You have bad customer service. Ego. When they tell the story out there, it's well garnished. When they spice it up with garlic, ginger. Like he literally looked at me in my face and said, "Get out, you poor little man." Like, no Nigerian customers. There's one of a pastor. The way the man told the story. Let me close my mouth. It was so good. I mean, at least we're not calling names, so I can tell this thing. He wanted me to come and take his measurement in his house, and I was fine with it. I'm like, so where's your place, sir? I mean, I attach a cost to it, so you're just hitting your invoice afterwards. And I said, I'm General's neighbor. General is my customer, who is his friend, who introduced him to me. I'm General's neighbor. I'm like, yeah, so where's the house? He said, no, General's. I said, I've never been to General's. General comes to me. So, General comes to you. Apparently, General is a bigger boy. General comes to you. I'm like, I say, oh, no way, I'll come. I said, no, sir, it's okay, I'll come. I said, no, I'll come. The next thing, he's telling somebody that he told me to come and measure in my home. I said, I cannot come. Pastor. But he couldn't just tell the story because someone he respects comes to me at the end of the day. You know, but I will happily go to, it's just a service. So, and there's this thing called Nigerian big manism, you know. If you want me to come to you and that, you pay for the service. You can't want to pay the same price as someone that walks in through my door. And you want me to come to you and you want to pay half that price. You're not worth anything to me. It doesn't make any sense in my books or rational. I would leave you alone. So I block numbers these days so that they don't know what's going on. It's a business strategy. I'm not going to be asking about that strategy. You know, so the average, or when we look at growth according to the general definition or general balance, it is, going and setting up shop internationally, you know. But I've noticed that you're not, so fine, you clothe the celebrities out there, you clothe people, you export stuff there, but you're not keen on like setting up.
Is it intentional?
Not at the current time. Something I'm looking at properly, but not at the current time, because I think for someone like me, the best way to go out there is retail, which I don't do.
Okay.
I'm made to order. I'm more bespoke than anything else. And to go there is more retail than anything. Gotcha. So that's why it's not definitely a push there. So I'm going to take the same business I'm going to do here and there. It's going to be a waste of investment, not including retail.
Okay.
So the shoes are the first step into that direction to make that happen. So definitely, I mean, I was hoping to get a space in London before the end of the year. But I changed my mind on that because I thought I needed to perfect some things. So let's open Abuja and see how that runs. That's a location out of here.
Out of Lagos.
And let's see how that runs. So if that runs where you can replicate. I have a lot of customers in Ghana and Ivory Coast more than anything else. And I realized that I go there for 3 days and I come back and I make equivalent to what I would make in 6 months in Lagos.
Wow. So that's the
So you'll be like, oh, should I go and set up there? I won't set up there. I'll visit them more frequently. And half of that margin is because of the dollar, not because of anything else.
When you repatriate it,
thank you very much.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Got you. Okay.
So that kind of like works very well. And their economy is a bit stable. You know, not like Ghana that is going through a tough time now.
Like their brother Nigeria.
Our own is something else. So yeah, so this kind of thing. So I think that people should look at strategies like that to think. And now, like Nigeria, it's very key that you make money in Forex. It's very, very, very important. So that's probably going to speed up me being in another location more than anything else. So that can help here.
Can help stabilize.
Yeah, you know, yeah. Again, when I go out there and I see what they're doing, I see what I'm doing, I'm like, better than this, man. Like,
I need to be here.
But they do like proper business. It's like a proper structure. Everything you need to make it work is there. You know, so you need the whole team again, you know. So that's also more that's more investment.
This is me interrupting your watch time to tell you to like this video, share it, and also subscribe to my channel. You're still watching How They Did It with TriciaBiz.
Okay, so I noticed that the brand name changed.
Yeah.
It used to be Mai Atafo, now it's Atafo.
Sorry for Mai Atafo inspired.
Yeah. So is there like anything behind it, or you know?
I would just say it's growth. To be honest, it's like I started this business as Mai Atafo inspired because the acronym was MAI, which was Mai, which happened to be my name. I thought was a great thing at the point in time. I felt like I was a genius. I was into an Oprah Winfrey interview where I could break this thing down. And 5 years later, I was in Italy in fashion school, and I met someone and we were having a conversation about the brand and stuff, and it was really intrigued. Oh, your clothes are amazing, this and that and that and that. So, where did you get your name from? I'm like, oh, it's my name. And I goes, oh, you're Mr. Inspired. I said, no, I'm Mr. Atafo. And I goes, so what do I call you? So I call you Atafo. What is Mai? And then Mai is my first name. Atafo is my son. So what is Inspired? And I'm like,
Inspired.
I literally came back and I just dropped Inspired quietly. I didn't make it. I just dropped it and I moved on with Mai Atafo. And Mai Atafo to Atafo was now a little conflict because I'm a person and an entity in his own self. And the clothing line is an entity. So when you say I'm wearing Mai Atafo, what are you really wearing? I know brands are like that, but it feels like somebody is calling me to be an MC, which I do every now and then, and is Mai Atafo, the individual. Or when I am mentoring someone, or when I'm trying to push my movie script, or I mean, I have a song. So it is a human being who is more than just a fashion designer. So it feels like it was actually making me small. You know? And
be one thing.
I did not want people to always imagine my face or imagine me around the area when they thought of the clothing. Give the clothing the credit of it by itself and see the clothing as the end product, not me as the process to the end product. So I was at the point in time that you do not need Mai Atafo to be there when you're purchasing Mai Atafo. But again, we are very literal in this part of the world. So we have to break it down that way for them. And access is easy. So you can see Mai Atafo in the supermarket tomorrow, here and there. You cannot see Tom Ford or Dolce & Gabbana. So I just felt that. So it was easy to separate it. I worked with an agency in London, and when they just told me about name change, I was like, no. When they told me what it was, I was like,
that's it.
It makes sense. And it even goes in line with trend, because it's now Dior as against Christian Dior, it's Armani versus Giorgio Armani, you know. So you have all that, and so it's kind of like growth. So I want people to be able to associate Atafo to amazing design, great clothes, great fashion. And as it goes on, it doesn't matter if it's Mai Atafo. If I get a creative director tomorrow to run this business, they'll be designing for Atafo. So it doesn't have to be me, you know. And that could help.
Yeah, I believe. So you have so many, you've been able to achieve a lot in the 12 years.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. There's so many awards. There's so many notable people that have, you know, put on your outfit. There's the museum.
Yeah, the V&A Museum.
Yeah.
Big deal.
There's Beyonce's website.
Beyonce.com was amazing.
If I pick one, if you could pick one, which is your biggest flex? Not in terms of money or anything, but which one, like, wow, like, that was me. That was my brand. Oof. It's tough, I know.
It's tough. I think it'll be the first time that I was invited to Harvard to come and speak. That was like an out-of-body experience. I asked them they had the right email address. Because it was like Harvard, like...
The prestigious Harvard.
You know what I mean? It probably was that the first... But you see, as life goes on, your target changed and your goals kind of like changed. Like, Naomi Campbell in my piece, like, who am I?
Who am I?
Do you know? Like, it's like, so different things, you know. V&A Museum was out of... So I would say the first big one, which was literally speaking at the Harvard for the first time. Okay. I want to hold that because, I mean, bigger things will come. And I've done that 3 years back to back. Which is, I mean, I must be doing something right for them. For them to call you back. Keep asking me to come back, you know. So that's I would say Harvard. It's still
the biggest. The V&A Museum is like the largest museum in the world.
Man. Yeah. You see, I don't, like, it's hard to pick one, but V&A Museum to have actually celebrated African fashion in the V&A Museum. It's not like one small museum or one small segment. They gave us like literally a whole bleeding floor. Wow. Actually, it's 2 levels, ground and up, to showcase. And I'm there in 2 outfits, like literally standing there. And it's like, people that do not know you will take a picture and tag you on Instagram and say, amazing. And the person is Italian. Another person is Russian. Do you understand? They do not know who you are. So that is some major deal. It's like, it's really huge. The first time in my life I've ever gone to meet people talking about me and said, excuse me, I'm the person you're talking about, was at the V&A Museum. I felt the need to. There were a couple that were looking at my piece and they were literally touching it and going like, and I just walked in and said, I'm the person that, it was a proud moment for me, like I designed that. And they're like, oh my God, they took pictures with me and asked questions and stuff, but it is a big deal. They didn't push us to the corner. And I would say they told the story right. Okay. They told the story right from those before us to us and to people that have come after us. And they were all on showcase, telling the proper African story. It was well done. It was 1 year in the making and it's huge. It's huge. And I think it's an attestation to the brand and to the person. You know, sometimes it's the person and the achievement behind the person, but it feels like it's the brand. They've seen your pieces and they say, oh, this is good and this is the person. And they put it there and there's a small write-up there too. It's really good. I want to cry.
So, advice for businesses. Yeah. People who are looking to be featured in the museum one day. They're just looking to be amazing at what they do and earn as much income as they can in this age.
I think I will just use the ones that people say a lot, it's a marathon and not a sprint. Okay. Definitely the journey still starts with 1 step. I don't think you should catalog your tough times so you can use it to tell a story. Experience your tough times and just like learning for you to get better, not to tell the story. Because people are really good at being able to tell stories from the tough times. I think that makes some people, I think, think of the sweet parts and how you've moved on and celebrate that, and people look at you and go like, then I can do that. So it's going to motivate people. And it's still always business at the end of the day. Life is tough as it is. If you can get through life without worrying about money, then that's good. I'm not saying lavish. Do you understand? I do not have a house in Banana Island yet. You know, but I would say I'm living a really comfortable life, and I'm happy with the life that I'm living. So I think that, you know, you thrive when you're comfortable and stuff. So it's always going to be hard. It's never difficult. No matter what level you get, it's still hard. Dangote and Academic will tell you that it's still hard. Regardless of where you are, it's still hard because you don't sit on your laurels. You want to do better than you were yesterday. So literally, it's always continuous improvement. And so it's hard, but there are definitely merits. There are good times. And something that you're doing because you love it, then it's even better. Because sometimes I'm tired and I'm just irritated. And why am I doing this business? I really want to, I'll go back into marketing. I've been an MD somewhere or a regional marketing director for Africa and the Middle East or something. Then I get a message and says, oh, the outfit you made for me was so amazing. Everybody liked the way I looked in my outfit. Thank you very much. I really like it. I'm like, oh, this is why I do this thing that I do. And I'm happy again. Do you get what I mean? Like, let's make more people happy. See, it's quite interesting, you know, to see all that. So that's my advice to anyone that wants to, you know, tow this rugged road of glitz and glamour on the occasion on the other side. But yeah, it's tough, but you can do it if I can do it. You
can. On the spot question, off the top of your head, do you know how many grooms or brides or both that you have clothed?
Gang.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one. No, I do not.
Estimation.
I would say grooms, not groomsmen. Only
grooms themselves, yeah.
Man, we've done over 500. I think we've done over 500. I think the brides would be closer to about 250 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. We've
done a lot.
And I think we said something offline, which is probably the reason why I can't count. Because I see a groom as the same customer coming again. I don't see them as different people. Like groom has come. Okay, what does groom want? Groom now wants a black tuxedo. Groom wants a black tuxedo. Give groom a black tuxedo. He wants a blue. So it's like
groom is one person.
In my head, groom is one person. And because of the changes you have over time, it feels like groom is changing his style. Like, oh, groom, don't wear black anymore now. Wear ivory. Do you understand? Black is not happening again. Wear ivory this time around. But you may be a different person, but you are the same person to me. That's why when there are changes, I'm happy to implement it with you, because now I know that things are changing in terms of style and trends and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's very hard to keep that number to say, oh, this is a number.
This is a number. Well,
it's like asking how many celebrities I've clothed.
That's why it's an on-the-spot question. So thank you so much, Mai.
How many braids do you have in your hair? On the spot. How many do you have? There you go. There you go. On the spot.
It's been absolutely amazing talking to you. Thank you.
Really good. I had a lot of fun.
Thank
I had a lot of fun.
Thank you. So guys, I'll see you on the next episode of How They Did It with TriciaBiz. Peace out.